So Goya is canceled. Now you guys know that I had to jump on here and talk a little bit about your boy and his obsession with Hispanic food. I think personally Peruvian food is great and it doesn't really use Goya that much. So I can't even say that I'm a huge proponent of it, but I understand the impact of it in the Hispanic community. So I'm going to talk about it. The CEO of Goya was invited personally to the White House to discuss some potential things that the president is going to be doing for the Hispanic community, which he has decided to do. And in his thank you speech, or in his little comment, or whatever it was that he was giving from the White House, the CEO of Goya, he mentioned that we were blessed to have Trump as president. For me, this is the prerequisite, right? He was there not just kind of spouting on online about how good Trump is or anything like that. He was personally invited to the president's house, the White House, right? This isn't some little futile thing where you're getting involved with associations of like alt-right figures and so now you get canceled. No, it's like you personally got an invitation from the president. Do you expect him to go there and trash the guy? If you do, then you're mean-spirited. That's what it is. You're vengeful, and vengeance is mine, says the Lord, right? So this guy went there, said what he said, and once he did, everybody exploded on the internet saying, we're canceling Goya. Goya supports racism. Now, mind you, this is a company that I did a little bit of digging, and just in the little bit of digging that I did, I found out that they donated over $1 million worth of their food products to people who were in need because of COVID. They have all of these programs that help the minority communities. And when I posted about all this and I said that it was dumb to cancel somebody simply because of who they're voting for or who they voted for, the response was, well, it's not so much that it's that he's not actually Latino. He's from Spain and he moved to Puerto Rico and that's where he started Goya. Doesn't make a difference to me, because my argument is not that he is a Latino, therefore he needs to be beholden to the views of the Latino party. It's the exact opposite, or the Latino community. It's the exact opposite. It's that he is a successful man who chooses to reward or to give back to his roots simply out of a desire to do so. Mind you, the United States of America is the number one country when it comes to charitable giving. There's nobody that gives more than Americans. And so when you de-incentivize that, when you say now all of that doesn't matter if you vote for this person, you're taking away people's desire to become successful. You're de-incentivizing success. Success put aside now, I want to talk about just the whole idea of being able to tell somebody they can't have a job anymore or they need to leave their job because their views don't align to yours. One of the responses that I got to that on Instagram was somebody saying that, well, the person that he's voting for, the very idea of that person is a danger to me and my community. And so that's an interesting worldview, right? Because one person is has a specific kind of belief, and they would call it racism. I don't see any evidence for Trump being a racist, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. But because that one person you don't like, they threaten your entire people group. Now, this is something called collectivism, which is stuff that I've talked about a bunch on this channel. This is a proponent of communism and Marxism, right? Marx's sole purpose was to group people into groups and pin them versus each other, oppressed versus oppressor. The bourgeoisie versus the proletariat. However you want to look at it, the haves versus the have-nots. This is textbook Marxism. And for me to sit here and say that I'm going to support or not support a company based on who they vote for is dumb. I wasn't about the Nike protest when Colin Kaepernick was doing it. I got like 3 pairs of Nike sitting right there. I don't care who they hire to endorse them. I like their sneakers. It's to me, it's less about the person or the face of the movement or the product and more about the product itself. God forbid. That's what capitalism is supposed to be. So I feel very odd about all of the Hispanics that will turn their back on this company that they admittingly love, that they cook with nearly every day, and has contributed to their communities extensively just because they don't like the way this person votes. So I want to talk about the Goya guy. This is him talking to President Trump. I want to talk about him. It's right there. I'm getting used to this, guys. Bear with me. And I want to talk about his initiative, right? What is he doing with with the president, and what is the president going to be doing for the Hispanic community. So the president signed into order, and let me see, I can pull it up here. Let me know if you can see that. If next time I'll make it bigger. He signed into order an executive order on the White House Hispanic Prosperity Initiative. So after reading through this, there's some simple things that stick out, right? It's the mission of the initiative shall be to improve access by Hispanic Americans to educational and economic opportunities consistent with its mission, and the initiative shall identify and promote educational and workforce development practices that have improved educational, professional, and economic outcomes for Hispanic Americans, encourage the private sector, develop a national network of individuals, monitor the deployment, implementation, and coordination of federal government education workforces and business development programs. So he's breaking this up into specific sectors, right? So he's talking about the government's assisting specific areas that have more minorities than they do, let's say, white Americans. But he's also talking about, and I don't know exactly where it is, but if it's on whitehouse.gov, you can't miss it. He's also talking about, in specific, giving trade schools a bigger priority in those areas to help people out of poverty. So it's crazy that this is happening now, because I was having this conversation with somebody a couple days ago about school choice. He's offering school choice to these kids, right? To these kids at a middle school level, grade school level, high school, and just allowing their taxes to go somewhere else so that they can better their education, and they don't have to be forced to go to school in the sector that they're going into and be forced into a bad school system. And I think that's the smartest way. Next to mandating that fathers stay in the homes, this is the best way to help people out of poverty. That on top of the trades. So some of you may know, some of you may not, that I worked in the trades for 3 years. I was doing digital marketing for them. So it's not like I'm good with my hands or anything. I'm good with a camera. That's pretty much it. And what I've learned is that the money that you can make in a trade now, right away, right out of high school, is exponentially way more than you can make after a year of college, or if you go to college for 4 years and you take courses. Now, this goes back to the whole argument of creating the culture of hard work instead of the culture of Ivy League, right? Where if you don't go to an Ivy League school, all of a sudden you're less than. This is the way to get people out of poverty. I'm so glad that the Hispanic Prosperity Initiative is not some sort of affirmative action program, because that's what I got scared of at first. I do know that, and we'll talk about it later, but I do know that Trump is providing a pathway to citizenship for DACA recipients now. And so that's a big deal to the Hispanic community. And I think that is a way to lift people out of poverty and at the same time encourage them to be participating, active, American-loving members of society. I think all of that put together is so great. And when you throw in the mix that now trade schools will be important, and trade schools will be weighed just as much as a regular college, a vocational school, that is going to change things. And President Trump just changed the future for Hispanic America. Let me tell you that. And I think I've had this inkling for a while, because the first people to jump on the Trump train for 2020 that I saw around me were Hispanic Americans. On average, the Hispanic American generations are way younger than white Americans, black Americans, any other people group. We've only been here, and I said this in another video, we've only been here for like 2 generations. At most three. There's very rare cases of like, you have 4 generations back of Americans, of Hispanic Americans, but we're brand new to this country. And that's why I think we still see the promises. We still see the opportunities that are just here at our fingertips, where a family can come here, make a living, create wealth for themselves, create generational wealth, have their kids do better than they did. That's the immigrant dream, right? That's the American dream for an immigrant. You come here, you work your butt off, your kids now go to college, they become something even more effective, and before you know it, you have generational wealth. And that is the key. The key is not to give handouts to Hispanic Americans or black Americans. The key is to show them the road to prosperity. And I think this is the perfect way to do it. The Hispanic Prosperity Initiative is, in my opinion, one of the best things Trump has ever done. And I think some people are saying he's pandering to Hispanics. Well, if you're going to pander to a people group, this is the way to do it. Actually sign legislation that helps them. I love it. When Hillary says hot sauce, I got hot sauce in my bag. That's not pandering to the black community. When Joe Biden says, if you don't know how to vote for me, then you ain't black. That's not pandering, no. But when Trump signs into action an executive order that helps the Hispanic community in their education, all of a sudden that's pandering. Get out of my face, man. I can't anymore. But I want to leave this with the whole DACA thing. I don't know much about it. I think it's pretty vague. I didn't read the Breitbart article. Maybe we'll do that together. Why not? Let's see. We'll look it up together, guys. How about that? Breitbart, DACA. Let's see what comes up. Okay, so the first thing comes up: Supreme Court blocks Trump from extending DACA. Okay, we'll do it another day. Anyway, we'll talk about the DACA thing and as it develops and the more details we have on it. I don't want to be the first to mark it and then have the wrong take on everything. But I will say that this whole Goya thing has been hilarious. I think it's been a red pill to a lot of the Hispanic American community because it's singing something that they knowingly love. They know that it does no harm. They know that it's an innocent company that's just from a hardworking Hispanic family that grew up to be one of the biggest brands, and you want to cancel it because this guy said something that you don't agree with. Get out of my face, man. So that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you, by the way. Let's celebrate. I don't know if I have any. Yeah, let's celebrate because I just got to 1,000 subscribers on here because of you guys. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart because this is something that I'm super passionate about. And without you, each and every one of you commenting and giving your opinions, we wouldn't be able to do it. Since the walkaway video, I still can't get over it. So make sure you check out the walkaway video and let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about DACA, Goya, anything, what Trump is doing for the Hispanic community and where you stand on all of it. I know this is going to be a little bit divisive since not everybody is a Trump fan, but I think it's important to talk about. And I'm looking forward to it. I do have a special guest that's going to be on my podcast on this channel on Monday, so I hope you guys stick around for that. And subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know exactly when I'm posting. And I can't wait to talk to you guys again. My name's Angel. If you've made it this far, you're the real MVP. Peace.